All right. Gotta go live. Got myself in cinematic mode. Shout out to Apple. Uh I'm doing I'm doing the podcast. I'm doing the live coaching class uh for two reasons. One, it's just really important for all of you to know uh how productivity can change your life. Productivity can change your life in a bunch of different ways, but tracking being productive in key areas, that's what's most important. If you're over here and you're on TikTok, you can see, when I was fresh out the joint, I actually walked the first couple of shifts to this job right here. Shout out to Shep's Ice Cream. It was a really big deal for me to hop into a job that paid pretty decent. If you don't know anything about Madison, Wisconsin, there really is a glass ceiling for an African male with a record. There really is. It's tough to really get going. But if you have a winning strategy, you can overcome all that. I remember I remember not living close to it, but not far enough to walk. So I had to just go ahead and look up how far it would be to walk, and I just gave myself 10 more minutes. I took off. I think it was a few miles from where I was living to Shep's. And my strategy had been for years to ask people for, a ride. So if you didn't know, people love to ride share. People love to share rides. This was something I caught on to because I was a jailbird. So I had starting over and over again. If you tell somebody, hey, I just got this job, let me pay you on payday to ride with you to work, they're gonna do it because people love to ride share. It's an American thing. I don't know, it could be an American thing, but so that's how I got my start. So I developed a winning strategies book, but I'm telling you, you can do things and overcome obstacles if you have a winning strategy. So I have been doing that for years. It's just now, as a conscious man, that was just a springboard for what you see now. Coach Taibu, winning strategies, this awesome platform. So productivity, you can be very successful in life if you track and measure your levels of productivity in the key areas concerning your personal growth. What's the key area you want to grow if you just get out of jail? This ain't Many of you haven't been to jail, but I'm just telling you, a lot of y'all have. Way too many of us have. So when you get out, the first way to track your productivity is to make that appointment to that probation officer, right? You can't do nothing if your PO ain't happy. So that was an immediate way for me. And so one thing that makes POs happy is what? Employment. I don't care what state you're in. You make the PO's job easy if you get a job. Seriously. So once I was employed, my PO knew what? Where I was from 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. Now, why is that important? Because little known to people that don't get locked up, people will lie on you to get you locked back up. And in Wisconsin, I don't know other states, but in Wisconsin, an allegation can get you locked back up. Now, if you're working, a person might get themselves in trouble by making allegations, or at least keep you out of trouble, make allegations, and they don't know it. That's why it's good to keep your business to yourself. So if your PO knows that you're at work from, like, say you work a second shift job from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m., somebody can be like, oh, so-and-so was over here threatening me at my front door. All the PO got to do is call your boss, like, did he clock in? And you have that? You have it on camera? Okay, cool. Otherwise, you going to jail. They're going to have to lock you up and investigate. It might take a couple of weeks, might be a couple of months. This is real. See, many of y'all don't want to hear about this. That y'all ain't going to hang out with me. That's okay. But I'm going to get real tonight. So my first way to be productive was to get out and get that first job. So I had let's track it. I had to walk to work until I was able to get a ride share going based on a paycheck I was going to get a couple weeks later. And then I had to make sure I held that employment steady to make my PO happy, because my obviously ultimate goal was to get out of probation without going back to prison. So Taibu Muad'Dib, remember this year I'm doing something that's never been done before. I'm coaching off of my own obstacles and challenges and struggles to show my class how to do it, how this thing is done. So effort, focus, and commitment is the free download. If you haven't gotten the free download, if you want it, inbox me, DM me, share a comment, and let me know. I need the EFC workbook, and I'm gonna shoot it to you. Listen, so putting more effort into something. So there's a lot of effort involved in what I just said. A lot of effort. Now, what's the plan? What's the plan next? If you over here on TikTok, you can see, for the people y'all that y'all can't see, I'll see if I can pick it up and show y'all real quick. It's slippery. The phone's slippery. All right. So you can see Taibu. You can see me. My first job. So when I got this job, I was like, when I got this job, I was, what do you say? I was a production line worker. So when I got the job, I was a production line worker. But a previous job that I had involved a vat where things get mixed, right? So I was working on a chicken farm one time, and I knew from the machine I saw in Sheps that it was a machine that where things got mixed. I could see the piping. It was the same thing. So I up on the boss. I said, man, what they over there doing? So our mix operators. I said, yeah. I said, I can do that. If y'all ever need help, I can do that. Little did I know, they did need help. We're going to give you a shot. Now, the production line workers, they wait for the ice cream to come by already made. They cap it, package it, whatever. It goes upstairs, and people in the freezer, yes, the freezer, where it's like 70 degrees below Fahrenheit, are actually stacking this stuff up on pallets and ready for the forklift to get it out of there. So the mix operators are the one that make the mix that turns it into ice cream. So the raw materials. So that means you lug in 40, 50, 70-pound bags off of a pallet, putting them up to the platform and throwing them up to the guy that's cutting them open and putting them in the joint. Then when you get done mixing it, and you have to mix the right stuff in there. Then when you get done, you have to flush all the pipes and system for the next run, because we all know pollens and things of that nature. People be allergic to certain things. So you have to flush it. So what was cool about mix operator was you worked hard for like 45 minutes, maybe an hour. But once the mix was in, that machine had to run, and then you had to clean it out. So your work time was like maybe an hour and a half tops of doing stuff. Putting the pipes together, rerunning the pipes to different vats or whatever. I mean, it was, but you really was only really working hard for like 45 minutes every 3 hours. So for the people that didn't want to put much effort into the job, they was getting paid a couple dollars less an hour, which is a lot. Y'all know that's a lot. And it was working on their feet consistently way more than we were. And that's what productivity is about, people. Did you know that you could get a pasteurization license, a state license, and they have to pay you like $20-something an hour? I just got out the joint. So I went from 14, 15 on the line to making 18, 19. And then the mix operator position was so in demand, you could get all the overtime you want. It was crazy. It was nuts. The interesting thing about life is this. Sheps technically went out of business. I'm all lined up to get my pasteurization license. It was a good job, man. You know, I mean, you look at me, I had a lot of all the PPE on, but it was fresh out. I was, 23-1, for 3 years. So I mean, it was a great job. I was taking care of my kids. I was getting good checks. It was crazy. But when it went out of business, that threw me back into an environment where I got strikes against me. I got to find another position. The upper management was cool with me because I had wrote a book on social justice in the joint. So I basically published it as soon as I got out. And I gave one of the books to one of the head guys. My man used to joke with me that they wasn't going to fire me because of my book, or whatever. It was funny. But productivity, maybe that was the case. And this European fellow, when I asked him about the book, once he dug into it, he said, this is what he said to me. He said, I appreciate you helping me think about stuff I never thought about. So for those of you who are European and American, in America, European descent, y'all know who y'all is because y'all pale skinned. We know that y'all don't know. He was saying things to me. And he didn't know. My whole life, I knew you have no idea what it's like to be this skin color in this country. But he said, I appreciate you helping me to think about things I would have never thought about in a non-threatening, non-confrontational way. To this day, that's one of the biggest compliments I've had as I write books, fiction and nonfiction. Was helping my European coworker, boss or otherwise, my peer, become a brother based off the education and knowledge I was able to pass on to him about our struggle. So, I'm telling you right now, they went out of business. I'm back out there. I got to get other jobs. Now, everybody that knows me well, know I'm not one to keep no job. I'm sorry I had to say it. I'm not, because I was never really cut out for the corporate work atmosphere. I'm a boss. I'm a business owner. That's really my vibe. So every job I have, really, as soon as I get hired, the people that hired me just didn't know. Like as soon as I get hired, like food spoils, if you don't put it in the refrigerator, that's me on the job. I'm going to spoil eventually. It's just with me, you just never knew when they happen. Now I walk off a job. If it's not safe, I walk off a job. But I would say in the 3 years before I left Wisconsin, like I got out probation and left Wisconsin immediately, I would say I had about 10, 12 jobs. And most of them were doubled up. Don't get me wrong. Like I worked Taco Bell. Yes, me. I worked Taco Bell. It cut. Hey, shout out to all the fast food workers out there. Y'all cutting food costs. I feel you. So I worked Taco Bell on and off as a part-time job, man, as a second job for a couple of years. And I did that because I could track the money I was making. People were lazy. They didn't want to work. I knew I was going to go in there. If somebody called off their shift, I was there. The thing is this. This lesson tonight is on productivity. So every time I left the job, whether I quit or I got fired or whatever the case may be, I went right back out there in the community as a semi-skilled worker. I talked myself into a CNC job. That was the longest job I had, like as far as like start to finish. I held that job for a little over a year. Shout out to Fisher Barton out there in Watertown, Wisconsin. Talked myself into a CNC operating job. Type, how do you do that? I applied for it. I'm like, I'm reading. Many of you don't read the job qualifications or job requirements. I'm looking on Craigslist. I'm looking on all those different websites. I'm reading the job description and the requirements. Don't tell yourself you can't do something until you try it. I got out there. I'm looking at these machines, and Fisher Barton got some. They got a couple of newer machines, but Fisher Barton has some dinosaur CNC presses. I'm talking about old. So I ease up on the machine. The guy was like, yeah. I'm like, yeah. But I was smart. My actual first day, I had bought me a notebook. It's just that simple. Because that's what a winning strategy does. You prepare. So I bought a simple notebook. All right. My goal was to show them that it's online as a skill position, but the skill really was adaptability to the scenario. The skill wasn't CNC because any dum-dum can stand in front of a machine and press a button. The skill was adapting to what happens after that. Is the machine running right? Is it making the parts to spec? And then once you run out of materials, what do? Do you stand around like, oh, okay, I ran my run, so now I can just chill here? Or do you go get more material and go to the next job? So adaptability was the issue. But with just this notebook, I told him, I said, look, it's easy. I don't have the most experience doing CNC operating jobs, but if you tell me how to turn a machine on, I know one thing about computers is it's a process. It's a step-by-step process. And I wrote in my notebook everything that man did that day, and that's how I was able to keep that job and build myself up. And I worked that job, and I got good at that job. Right? Now, due to cultural differences up in there, eventually that job expired too. But I made it about a year. I gave him some good hours. What I was most proud of myself about with that position wasn't how long I kept the job. It was more or less like learning how to socialize, like with people that aren't like me, without a bunch of conflict. Because before then I hadn't been successful. Taibu, why are you telling us? Why are you going down memory lane? Look at your situation. If you look back 5-10 years, were you moving upwards, or was it a downward slide, like a slide in the playground? See, the whole time I was tracking my level of productivity. Each position that I had paid me more. When I left Wisconsin, I mean, like I said, with a criminal background, quote unquote criminal background, when I left Wisconsin, without a real degree or anything like that, I was making as much as a guy could make. I was being as productive as a guy could. At certain times, I was working 10, 12, 16, 18 hours straight. So my productivity lasted. And then when I got down to Dallas, oh boy, I fit right in, because everybody in the big D has a job and a hustle, or a job and two hustles. So I fit right in. Print up some business cards. I'm working in a factory, but I hand a business card to everybody. Let me get you in shape. Let me get you in shape. I'm a personal trainer. Let me get you in shape. Absolutely. Absolutely. And because I had invested in my own coaching program to learn how to do this, how to coach and speak, I started podcasting to raise awareness for my coaching program. And the podcast just blossomed. You're a mess. Then live your truth. Now I'm about to do the live podcast thing. Shout out to JJ's Lounge Arlington. We're going to get that thing together. Me and you, JJ. We're going to get it together for the people. I will come to you live. And so when you track your productivity, it's like, what's the measuring stick that, how are you measuring these things? You could be working at work and listen to the sound of my voice. You can be out and about chilling, listen to the sound of my voice. But the reason we got to talk about productivity and go down memory lane is because it's applicable. Because if you want to be successful, you have to understand that you have to develop a mentality based on effort, focus, and commitment. I had to commit myself to completing probation. I had to commit myself to holding every job as long as I could to maximize my money. I had to commit myself to budgeting to take care of my kids, my responsibilities, and then to make sure I had fun to keep my mental health right, to enjoy life. Make sure y'all reward yourselves. We'll get to that down the line. But productivity is key. All of my kids right now, they can say what they want to about their dad, but they know I'm the most productive guy that they know. I'm the most productive person they've ever met. My own children. They don't know anybody that works as hard as their dad. No one. No one. So when you hear motivational speakers like The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, and Eric Thomas say, you won't outwork me, I don't have to say it. The people in my house, they know no one outworks me. No one works harder than I do. No one is as productive as I am. I don't have to in my speeches. I don't gotta tell you I'm gonna outwork you. That's part of my life that's productivity trained. I'm productivity trained. I want you to develop a mindset of productivity tonight. Because when you do that, your success is you can't stop it from happening. It's inevitable. And the reason I say that is because when you're productive and you track it, you're going to end up somewhere better than where you started. How can that not be the case? Shout out to everybody on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube for joining in. Tonight's lesson, my first lesson of the year, and what I'll be discussing pretty much the month of January, is productivity. You don't understand why you're not going anywhere or getting anywhere because you don't have a mindset of productivity. You can't relate. If the secret to making money is in accumulation, you can track that. You can quantify that. I keep trying to tell these young people, I say, if you get paid $700 on your paycheck, whether it's weekly or twice a week, I don't care. Let's say it's weekly. You get paid $700 a week. After taxes, let's say it's $500. Let's keep even numbers. You get paid $500 every week. That's $2,000 a month. If you spend $300 of every paycheck, how much do you have at the end of the month? I'll wait. So it's $800. So at the end of that month, your net worth is $800. If you only spend $100 because you have a budget, you only spend $100, you worth twice that. Come on, somebody. If you only spend $100 because you on a budget and you are going to be productive, you're trying to get somewhere, you're saving up for something, you worth twice that. Now, many of you want to have fun with that $200. You want to have fun. You can't tell yourself no. You have a low emotional intelligence. So you're an impulse spender. So you justify and justify and justify and justify why you need that thing. But you can't tell me being worth 1,600, which is the better part of 2 Gs, doesn't sound better than 8. And you can keep going. You can go 16 times 12, right? Versus the 800 times the 12. I mean, let's just be honest. Just by budgeting, you could be saving more, like twice as much, if you don't. Now, the essence of productivity demands, listen to this, the essence of productivity demands more effort, focus, and commitment into your goal. You can't be productive if you don't have those 3 things. You can't be. Because it's going to take more effort to track it. It's going to take a better plan to track the areas that matter so you hit your target numbers. And it's going to take a solid commitment to continue doing it until you begin to be able to decipher and read the writing on the wall. If you're not productive in the areas that matter, you're never going to hit your goal. So what happens then? That's when you reach out to Taibu Muad'Dib. Taibu, I need you to coach me. I need to be held accountable. I tried to track myself. I tried to budget. I tried to save. I tried to build my relationship into a better space. I tried to build my body up. I try to take care of my temple. And because I'm tracking it and I see I'm not getting it done, I know I need to invest in some assistance. Yeah, I'm trying to sell my coaching program. I'm not hiding that, but I'm trying to sell it for you, not for me. You can look at the picture and see, I can show y'all, you can look at the picture and see I'm successful compared to that. You can see I'm successful compared to that picture. I'm selling the coaching program for you, not for me. You can't stop me from becoming a bomb motivational speaker. You can't stop the book tour. You can't stop the live podcast. You can't stop the impact I'm having on the community. You not investing in my coaching program is hurting you, not me. So darn right, I'm trying to sell you the coaching program because I need to teach you to own up to the foolishness. Oh, it's foolishness. Y'all out there on foolishness. I know, because that was me. You have to, the price of my coaching program is you paying for the foolishness to be gone. Oh, yeah. I asked last night in my teaser if it's insane to do the same thing over and over again and expect different results. I asked y'all that. And I answered the question. Because for most of you, it's no. That's why you're still doing it over and over again. So that's what I'm saying. You're paying me to help you stop the foolishness. It's foolishness. It's foolishness. I don't know how else y'all want me to say it. It's foolishness. Now I'm going to take a quick moment and break off into this live podcast I did. The Professional Broadcast Network is my segue into broadcasting in front of millions. I need to work with a professional podcaster that has millions of followers. So I'm going to let y'all see a little bit of this and listen to it for most of y'all. If you go over to YouTube at Taibu Muad'Dib 4019, what if you just type my name in? The live should come up. But the bottom line is I'm going to give y'all some of this on some picture in picture, because I want you to know that when you're productive and you have a plan to watch and track your productivity, even if you hire a coach to do it, you can be successful on a level you've never dreamed. Let me go ahead to the share. I'm about to present this. I'm about to share the screen. Let's get this thing going. Bam. I didn't put it on. I was like, I'm waiting. They said, for what? I said, for it to stop moving. I was in the fab shop. Out of there about a week later. They had to get me out of there. I was not for heights. So,
I don't blame you.
But it was great work. It's fun. When you're the guys that come in and fix stuff and get stuff done or add stuff, people love you. So it's good. It's good real work. And I believe in honest day's work for honest day's pay all the time.
So I had plans to go skydiving over the summer, and I came that close. I'm going to say 90%, and I have no excuse. Somebody gave me a gift certificate for my birthday like 2 years ago, and like I was taking my son, we're going to go, and I kind of tapped the brakes on it. I regret it. And 2025, I'm jumping at that.
Okay, so you're going to do the coaching program because, and this is a teaser for all of you, all the millions of you out there who really struggle almost your whole lives. I know plenty of you with actually taking that first step, like this young man right here, joining the first step coaching program this year. You pay for the first month, I'll cover the other 5.
Wow. And you know what that said?
Don't you talk that plane, sir.
You know what that said? What you do works, because you're taking that chance on somebody because you know that they're going to continue. They're going to see what you give it. I will share this with you. I joined a men's group.
All right.
This year, never thought I would do it. Completely out of my wheelhouse. Like an hour into joining, I signed up to get on a plane to go across the country to a retreat. It just happened to be coming up around that time.
Wow.
Timing is everything. And I wonder, am I getting into a cult? What am I doing here? What's going on? But I took that leap of faith. And now every week I go to this group. They made me the shaman. You know, it's been wonderful. And if I joined them sooner, I probably would have jumped out of that plane. But
there it is. My point here is, everybody, listen to the man talk. He's saying, and when you look at the 3 aspects that I wanted to focus on, one of them you see is group and community building. It's so important for us to be with like-minded people on any journey. It really is. You Let me go ahead and get back to the podcast. So listen, let me get serious for a second. I want to be intentional about this right now for all of you. The most important thing that I could ever say to many of you about productivity tonight, as the founder of the First Step Coaching Program, as the creator of the Heavenly Body System, as the creator of the EFC workbook, let me tell you something. Get the free download, look at the EFC workbook, and then join the program. It takes over you. Let me tell you something. When you dig into the EFC workbook, the first thing you're gonna notice is one thing. It's real, because it forces you to do something. Many of you haven't done anything for years. You haven't read and completed a book, not a novel, but a book to help increase your knowledge. Many of you haven't went and studied anything or went and invested in a course. You haven't invested in a class. And if you did it because you wanted that class or that book or whatever it was, that person that you connected with, you wanted them to do something for you instead of wanting them to teach you to do something for yourself. And the EFC workbook takes you there. It forces you to do something for yourself. It forces you to consider yourself. It forces you to build yourself. It forces you to work on a plan to be successful. And it's free. That's how it gets started. So once you see how real it is and how it pulls you in, go ahead and join the program. It's all available to you. It's all there right now. I'm going to spend my last few minutes really digging into the productivity aspect of it. So productivity is the thing that people always see the results of down the line, but it's inevitable that they will see it. Like me, when I got out, I was starved. They starved me. I starved in the joint. So I was like 207. I was super thin. It was crazy. And I went to Pittsburgh. Shout out to my man Ayo. I went home on a humbug. It's amazing how God does things. I went home and I bumped into my guy Ayo. He was an underclassman when I was in high school. Right? I graduated ahead of him, but I seen him, and guys, we're not like y'all females. We can't openly, overtly, really tell another guy, man, you look. That's a powerful move right there, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't really tell guys you look great, this and this and that. We'll say one thing or another, but it doesn't get like how females can get with it. But I'm telling you, when I saw Ayo that weekend at the club, looking thick and swole and together and healthy, I wanted that look so bad. Soon as I got to the crib, I was like, oh yeah, I need to plan this thing out. And many of you have been there. Many of you have seen somebody live in a certain kind of way, having a relationship. If you're in a relationship sucks, but you always online looking at relationships and you sending stuff to your bae or whatever, like, how come we can't be like them? You're not like them because you're not working on you, or you're not working on your relationship. If you think working on your relationship is getting the person that you're with to do more of what you say, then you don't need to be with that person. Let that person live. Working on your relationship means working on yourself, because when you become the best version of yourself, if that person doesn't appreciate it, move on and be happy and be blessed. But that's what productivity does. Productivity, it's like the Bible says, separates the wheat from the chaff. Can I hear it from somebody? I'm just letting y'all know what's real. You can undervalue the person that you're with until somebody that does value walks off with them hand in hand. Let's talk about your finances. What are you doing to build your finance? You see what Taibu Muad'Dib is doing. Y'all can go back and check out my old podcast. I started out podcasting in my Airbnb room. Look at me now. You seen it? A clip of it. I was podcasting for the 4 or 5 people that didn't have nothing else to do and sat and listened to me rant. For millions of people to hear me podcast now, it's awesome. And I don't take any offense to the fact that even now that I can go online and people be like, oh, I don't know about this guy. Let me look in. Oh, is he talking about something? Oh, hold on. Oh, and they look and they see, but then they don't know what to do. You can't pump fake being successful. You can't pump fake being productive. You can't even pump fake putting more effort into something. I challenge each and every one of you, no matter how much of this podcast is class session for the First Step Coaching Program. It's the first class of the year. I challenge every one of you to do like I did. Walk down the last 5 or 10 years of your life and ask yourself, were you going like this? Was it a step-by-step process to being somewhere? And if you can't look back over the last 10 years and admit to yourself, I didn't get anything, it was barely a slope. It was barely an incline. You automatically qualify for the First Step Coaching Program. I'm Taibu Muad'Dib, certified goal achievement coach through the PCS. And I want you to know right now that it doesn't have to stay that way. You can be more productive this year. Make this year by investing in my coaching program. Reach out to me, inbox me, DM me. Y'all know who I am. Y'all know where I'm at. You know how to find me. Make this year the first year, maybe for some of you ever, that you invested in a winning strategy to be more successful, to actually reach your goal. If it's losing 10 pounds, if it's gaining 10 pounds, if it's getting rid of somebody that you shouldn't be with or finding the person that you want to be with, if it's starting a business or building your wealth, creating a budget to save and invest, you can make this year the year that last year should have been, or the year before that should have been. I don't know what stopped you or how, but I'm telling you right now, I am putting you in a position tonight, if you hear my voice, to embark upon a journey that can't fail you. The journey can't fail you. It can't fail to uplift, to reward, and to bless you. It's like when you say something, you can't unsay it. Opening the can of worms, they all come out. You can't put them back in. I have that kind of coaching program. The more time you spend around me, the more you allow me to lead you, to hold you accountable to what you say you want to do for yourself, everybody's a winner. Don't forget, you guys, and all of you ladies out there, if you can overcome today's obstacles, tomorrow will feel like paradise. Take it from me, Taibu Muad'Dib. I'm living proof. Now, how do you sign up? It says right down there, call the hotline, 682-514-5955. 682-514-5955. Call the hotline. You got to do it. You got to do it. Pretty much all of you that's listening to me right now, unless you're in the class, in the classroom, you missed the opportunity to join my coaching program at the price of just 1 month. 6-month program, price of just 1 month. You missed the opportunity, but that's all right. That's all right. Because I'm worth what I charge. I'm worth what I charge. The program costs $300. I'm worth what I charge. It's $550 a month. I'm worth what I charge. Now, I challenge all of you, now that you heard what I charge, 6-month program, $300, $550 a month. I know you heard the price, and you might be sticker shock like, I challenge each and every one of you that think that way to go on your app and go on your phone, whether it's Wells Fargo or Bank of America, whatever it is, go on your app and look at the stuff that you bought last month or I said last 30 days that you didn't need. Look at what you bought, not your bills. Look at what you bought that you didn't need and see how much it comes up to. Matter of fact, I'm going to do something never done before. This is 100. If you do that, look over your last 30 days and circle, like with a highlighter, everything that you know you didn't need, you spent money on. Whatever the total of that is, we'll deduct that, and I'll let you get in for your first month for that. Whatever the remainder is. So if you say you spent $400 on stuff you didn't need on Shein or on Amazon, whatever the case may be, I'll send you an invoice for that for your first month for the other 150. Because in that, like I said, in that way, you can't help but to be blessed and for me to build you up into a better space. One of you, I'm speaking this over you. One of you is going to become a millionaire just like me this year by joining and investing in my program because it's already in you. You're going to end the year just like me in 7 figures. I'm speaking it over you. One of you are going to invest in my coaching program and you are going to hit the 7-figure mark because it's already in there. You just need to connect with someone else like-minded. You just need to put your potential on a platform called effort, focus, and commitment. Once you line up those 3 things, it's not going to be any stopping you. You're going to juggernaut to that 7 figures. It's going to be awesome. Now, I'm speaking this over you because I have a cousin. I was talking to him about his business, and he had like excuses for everything, for why they're not growing. He had excuses for everything. My cousin had excuses for why his business, the products that him and his wife sell are fantastic, but he had excuses for how come he couldn't grow his business. And each time he gave me an excuse, like the real coach that I am, I coach my cousins. I'm telling you. He was like, wow, I never thought of that. Productivity. You can't be successful without knowing what it means, without tracking it in the areas that mean something towards your goal, concerning your goal. Like, what number do you need to hit? You can quantify. Productivity is the quantification of your progress. Productivity is the measuring of your progress. That's why I'm starting this year off talking about it. When this month is over, everybody in my class on my coaching program is going to have a great relationship with the concept of productivity. African people, my beautiful African people worldwide. I want you to tap in. As a people, as a community, we need to step up our productivity. We need to do our part. We need to do our part. Unity is now available to us as a people because the leadership has returned. I'm Taibu Muadi. And I approve this message. I approve this message. Productivity. So watch out for the live podcast that's coming, man. Shout out to Jay's Corner Lounge. Shout out to Anastasia the Bold. Shout out to my man Derek Colors. All right. We're coming at y'all. Get on the coaching program. Remember, the hotline is 682-514-5955. Join the coaching program and win. Thank you very much. See y'all next Monday. Yeah. Just don't get any better than that, babe. Just don't get no better than that.